Good day guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is Friday and I thought I'd take a walk around the neighbourhood. There's a couple of streets which I haven't been down and I wanted to go and check them out. And whilst I was talking, I thought I'd give my perspectives on the expat community here and what my thoughts are having been here for a month. We did live here before, but I'd like to share that as we're wandering around. So let's get right into it. Yeah, so I thought I'd talk about the community and my observations having lived here for a month, what feelings, what thoughts I've had as I've been walking around and interacting with the expat community here. And the first and most obvious point that you have to make is this is a tight-knit community. It's called Angeles City, but it's not really a city in the sense that Beijing or London might be a city, or New York. It's more of a town. And the reason for that is the expat community, when you go out to the bars, you always see the expat community, the same people. You can bump into people, you'll see them around. You get to know the business owners. People know you. And it's got that small town feel to it, which is lovely really, because when you're in a big city, you don't bump into people. You don't always see the same places. So I think that expat community here, the tight-knit, close community, is a real advantage of Angeles. And you see people around from different walks of life, from different countries. Europe, UK, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. So you see people from all different countries, and you talk to them and you get to know them, then you'll see them around again. So it is that sense of community, and you sit down and you might talk to someone for the first time when you go out, and it's very easy going. It's a nice, easy conversation because you've all got something in common, and that's that you like and appreciate Angeles, which is a brilliant starting point. And you see people have different situations. They've come at different points in their lives. Some people have come after they're financially stable, after they don't need to come here and earn money. They're retired, they've got a pension, they're set up. Other people are coming still needing to work, wanting to run a business and needing that business to be a success. Other people are at different ends of their financially settled. They have a small budget, others have a big budget. And people who are retired even want to run businesses. Maybe they've got less pressure to make it work, but who wants to run a business that doesn't make money? So yeah, there's a whole community, and people are coming here with different financial situations. And I think one thing that brings people here is they recognize that, everyone has a time bank, right? We all have a financial bank, and we're waiting for that financial bank to be in a certain condition before you up sticks and move to Angeles. But it's not always the case that you can wait, or it's sensible to wait, because there's a financial risk, but then there's also a risk of waiting. It's a time risk. So when you consider the time bank, everyone has X amount of money in the time bank, and it's probably the most valuable resource we have, right? Because it cannot be topped up. It cannot be bought. You've got that X amount of time in the bank, in the time bank, and it starts ticking down. So at some point you've got to say, right, I've got this dream, I want to go and live in the Philippines. I can't wait for my time bank anymore, just in case, that's too risky. Whereas others, well, maybe they're edging more towards financial security before they come here. Others are edging towards the time bank, you know, more financial risk, less risk on time. But yeah, that leads me on to location, right? People have chosen to come here because perhaps they've recognized that they want control over their location. They want to be in places that matter to them more often than places that don't mean anything to them. And often when you're in the rat race, you're signing over your time bank hours to a corporation in exchange for maybe financial security. But you often have to sign over your location as well. Your right to choose where you want to be. And not many people, when they have time off, choose to dress up in a suit and go to a grey office. And people who come here, they realise or they recognise that over a certain period of time, it's whenever they do have autonomy to choose where they want to be, they find themselves wanting to be in the Philippines. Whether that's looking on YouTube at expat videos, whenever they have a choice, they realise, right, well, if that's where, when I have freedom to choose, that's where I go, then, you know, maybe I should be spend more of my time bank hours in places that matter most to me. And perhaps people who come here have, it's been their dream to come here, or one of their dreams, and they've worked towards it, and once they get here they achieve it, and they run businesses. And it's interesting, the businesses that you encounter here, the expat run businesses, restaurants, bars, shops, and you're a customer in those businesses. And I think it's different to when you're in a big city and you treat businesses as corporations, and you know, you're critical of them, you have no feelings towards that business. But in Angeles it's a bit different. It's when you walk into a business, you're walking into someone's dream, right? There's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears that's gone into creating that business, and that's probably particularly true for businesses, for those expats who have, you know, still need to make money to survive. It's a bit, you know, they obviously want that to work, and I think there's a certain respect when you come in and you walk into bars and restaurants. You know, you tend to end up knowing the owners, you know the stories behind it, you know the efforts that have gone in, from the branding, from the menus, you know, all the effort and work that's gone into getting that business into a well-oiled machine. And rather than treating it as a corporation, people tend to treat the businesses around here with a respect. Even if it's perhaps not to their taste, you don't like a certain aspect, you don't mention that, because there's a respect for the effort and the fact that people are living out their dreams. But I think I've said everything that I wanted to say about the community in Angeles, and what a friendly and respectful community it is. yeah, so I think I might wrap this one up considering the weather, and perhaps get into more of this another day. But I was going to go down to Walking Street tomorrow and talk about prices on Walking Street. And I suppose another point in this topic is that tourists have an influence. Because tourists are still in the rat race, they got rat race money. So they come here and businesses adapt to their tastes, right? And tourists have an influence over and sort of change the landscape a bit. And I think that's what's happening down in Walking Street. As more tourists come from different nations, have certain tastes, and business owners take over businesses and have certain ideas, and then you can sense that Walking Street, that area has really changed, is really changing a lot. And perhaps it's tourist driven, and then people who have come here are seeing the landscape, the reason why they came here in the first place, they're seeing that change. And that's why you get some disgruntled comments about it. Ultimately, people know that there's nothing you can do about it, but I think a good example of that is happy hour. And I wanted to get this into another video. Happy hour is a dying concept on Walking Street. The concept of happy hour is becoming just hour. And I think that sums up the direction it's going. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get more into that in another video. Thanks for joining me for these steps, and I will see you in the next video.